You can say a lot of things about Bob Iger. You can criticize him for much of the direction of the Walt Disney Company in recent years, pandering to certain groups of people that will never support your business model. You can criticize him for the virtue signaling. You can criticize him for a mountain of things. But one thing is for sure, Bob Iger is a very smart man. He's calculated. He's manipulative. He knows what he's doing. And his sudden departure as the CEO of Disney left a lot of people questioning what was going on. Now, initially, when I heard the news and I reacted to it, I thought, yeah, what is going on? Is there, some allegations heading his way? What is going on? Then I thought about it and I said, well, whatever's going on, Bob Iger is in control of it. Bob Iger knows what he is doing. There is no doubt about it. You don't get to the level he was without being smart and calculated and manipulative. So it has been speculated as to what is the reasoning, and I believe that this article right here on Bounding Into Comics is a prime example of why Bob Iger stepped away as the CEO, and I do believe Bob Chapek might be an interim CEO, which I discussed on the High Council. I speculated that I didn't feel like Chapek was the guy, because we've heard for years with Bob Iger, looking for his replacement, and there were many people that were slated to be his replacement. It had been pre-announced. There were rumors, everything, and it was always Bob Iger would ultimately extend his run as CEO because why? Because they couldn't find a proper replacement. And now with Bob Chapek just coming out of nowhere to be the new Disney CEO, it seems like a weird time. And in my opinion, I believe that it's possible that Chapek is more so a fall guy. He's going to come in through this difficult time for the Walt Disney Company, which they are hitting record numbers right now across the board. Their box office, theme park numbers are great. Obviously, things like Star Wars is kind of down, but Marvel coming out the Marvel Cinematic Universe with Avengers Endgame setting records. A lot is going good for the company, but a lot could be heading in the wrong direction for the company in the very, very near future. Obviously, the CV, which I'm not going to say the word because YouTube doesn't like when we use this word, is causing a lot of, concern pretty much worldwide at this point, but definitely in overseas markets. And this article right here says, alleged Disney insider claims CV and the weak Marvel slate are big factors that makes this one of the most dangerous times for the company. I had to do a recut because I said the word and YouTube doesn't like that. An alleged Disney insider claims the recent onset of the CV is just one of big factors that makes this one of the most dangerous times for the company. Talking about the ramifications from Bob Chapek replacing Bob Iger, and there are 6 points. The first point is the CV and how that is affecting international travel at all of theme parks, including Walt Disney World, which is the most visited theme park on the planet, and how that is affecting things. Disney shut down Shanghai Disney Resort in January. After that initial closure, all of Disney's theme parks in Asia would be shut down due to that. That includes Hong Kong Disneyland, Disneyland Tokyo, and Disney Sea. And they're talking about the customer service representatives, according to numerous social media posts, are telling guests who are concerned that the company is monitoring the situation closely and is offering on a case-by-case basis the ability to reschedule vacations. Whew. The second point makes it that Lucasfilm is moving into dangerous territory for profitability, and Chapek does not have the acumen or the gravitas to remove Kathleen Kennedy as Bob Iger did. Talking about Scott Mendelson's article where it says that The Rise of Skywalker was the first billion-dollar disappointment. Also, Solo lost money. Solo was a bona fide box office failure, and Disney repeatedly reported that Star Wars merchandise sales were on the decline. The brand did succeed with Force Awakens and Mandalorian, as well as Star Wars Rebels. The third point is the Fox acquisition, and we all know how that is going to affect, that's going to crush the bottom line. The fourth point is Chapek's experience. Chapek is simply not viewed as anywhere near competent to run a company of this scale. Chapek couldn't run the parks division and has a shoddy track record. With this sudden announcement out of nowhere, in the most volatile time period the company has faced in decades, the stock price could take a huge hit tomorrow morning. Now, I'm a big theme park fan. As you know, I love Walt Disney World, and I have not been to the parks as much in recent years as I used to go. But I can tell you that Bob Chapek is not a popular figure with hardcore theme park fans at all. Disney Twitter hates Bob Chapek. They didn't like Bob Iger either, but they really don't like Chapek. And if you go to guest satisfaction and everything, it has dropped substantially since Chapek took over the parks division. He is not a popular person at all. I just don't understand why this guy is Iger's replacement. It's very strange, but we'll get into that a little more. So we're talking about the fifth point is there is fear Iger wanted to lock in now, suddenly and abruptly. The sixth point might be the most interesting and the most telling of what Disney might have to face going forward, and that's a decline in the Marvel brand. Marvel's future is not as strong as it was leading up to Endgame. The future slate movies is not viewed within the company, and the industry as being strong, and there is significant push to get X-Men up and running. But so far, that's not moving as quickly as many would like. They add Iger was able to form a great partnership with Feige in making Marvel movies a huge success. Chapek does not have that relationship and will likely get run over. Fans also appear to view the upcoming Marvel slate to be much weaker, fearing that Marvel might infect their product with wokeness and sacrifice storytelling in favor of identity politics and woke virtue signaling. And of course, there's our buddy Gary talking about all of that from Nerdrotic. There's a lot to this. Now, another point too is look at this. Look at this article from Yahoo Finance. What's that title? What is that title? Well, if you can see a headline on it. Where is the headline at on here? The CV is disrupting Disney and its upcoming slate of blockbusters. The media giant spent a reported $200 million on its live-action remake of Mulan, the priciest live-action film in the company. But its box office performance is now unclear, as its intended for March 27th release date has been postponed in China due to the CV. I have to be careful with that. So they're already building in excuses for why this movie might not perform. Now, again, I thought Mulan was kind of a risk. I mean, you're moving away from the iconic, animated version in favor of the original version, which I actually appreciate that. But moving in the direction they're moving with this movie, as we've covered here on this channel, not really the best, not the best move. And so this is just adding more to the problem. So it kind of goes into this, and I just think that these points are very valid, and it kind of goes into my theory. And I talked about this again on the High Council, where I point blank said that I am speculating that Bob Chapek is a fall guy. Maybe he comes in for a year, and maybe Disney sees a massive decline under his leadership. And maybe Bob Iger comes back in to save the day once again. He's clearly not running for president in 2020. He's not doing that. But he does, I believe he does have political aspirations for 2024 potentially. So if he can come in, if Disney collapses, and again, I don't think there's anything Bob Iger can do to stop what's about to happen. You look at Marvel with Endgame, unbelievable. But now you've lost Robert Downey Jr., you're losing Chris Evans, you're focusing on Brie Larson being your vocal point, I guess, that and Spider-Man, which there's all type of weird rumors around that with Spider-Man. Star Wars is just in the dumpster. Star Wars is dumb, dead, over. It's horrible. So until you can get rid of Kathleen Kennedy, nothing good's going to come from that. Obviously, this CV situation is being covered so ridiculously by the media that is causing panic around the world. And that's going to affect international travel to your theme parks. It's going to affect the box office. It's going to have so many effects. So I don't think there's anything Iger can do to stop what's going on. I think Iger is smart enough to see in front of him to realize, yeah, we're about to collapse, and I can't do anything about it. So I'm going to step aside. I'm going to let this other guy come in. I'm going to let him take the fall. Because, again, Chapek has never been the guy that was rumored for this. It's so strange. So, again, Chapek comes in, takes the fall. And, again, I'm a sports guy. This happens all the time. You know, you bring in an interim guy. You know, your program, you know, runs into sanctions from the NCAA or the NFL or whatever, and your guy gets fired or he steps aside, and then they have like a fall guy come in for a year or two, let the program go through what it's going to go through, and then another guy comes in and saves the day, gets all the backing from everybody. That's what I feel could be going on here. And again, Bob Iger is smart enough to pull all this off because he is a smart dude. There's no doubt about that. You can dislike him. You can dislike all of his policies, as I do. But he's a smart dude, and he knows what he's doing. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Thank you very much for checking out this video. Solo lost money. Raylos are weird. Bob Chapek might be a fall guy. And we will talk to you later.